Bridging the gap. Diffusion of innovation theory, adopter categories. We have 5 categories. Our first category is innovators. I'd like to call the innovators risk takers. This is the group of people that are usually first to adopt a new technology. Next, we have early adopters, and I would like to call these people influencers. This is a group of people that are the second to adopt a new technology, and they have the tendency to influence others to adopt the innovation as well. This group of people may be social media influencers, and they use that to their advantage to have others to come and try out the technology as well. The third category is early majority. This group I would like to label as cautious. They're a group of people that observe their peers using a new technology before adopting the innovations themselves. So they kind of like to test the waters, see what others are doing around them before they jump on the technology bandwagon themselves. Fourth, we have the late majority. These people are usually skeptics. They're a group of people that are skeptical of new innovations and adopt some new technology only after a majority of people have done so. So they kind of wait around, see what's happening. They see who else has jumped on to the new innovation before they do so. And lastly, we have our laggards. This type of people I'd like to label as traditional. They are very difficult to change their minds. They're a group of people that's last to adopt the new technology. They only do so out of necessity or when a traditional method is no longer available. This group can be very difficult to persuade. They're kind of stuck in their ways. Christ-centered approach to innovation adoption. The term innovation means to create something new, which might be an idea, method, or object that's created and based on previous standards. And this is stated by Kane, Campbell, and Fanshawe, 2024. So if I was creating a new innovation and I needed to lead these people in order to try out my technology, first we'll start with the innovators. Innovators is only 2.5% of people. I would find my risk takers. I would find those that I know would like to experiment with innovation, that would not be scared to kind of jump all in. And once I got my innovators, they would be able to persuade my early adopters. Early adopters are 13.5%. Once the innovators begin to experiment with the innovation, they will share with others. This will gain the curiosity of early adopters to try the innovation and promote on social media. We know nowadays social media is huge, and once I have those early adopters engaged, this is going to bring more publicity to the innovation. Once that happens, then my early majority is going to join, which will be about 34%. Once early adopters start to share the innovation on social media and it gains the popularity, the early majority will gain interest in trying the innovation as well. They're going to look around and they're going to see if, their neighbor or their best friend, whoever has tried out this innovation. And once they start seeing the popularity increase, then they're going to jump on as well. Now, to put this in a Christ-centered approach, Christ's approach absolutely parallels with the adoption curve. Christ's disciples, of course, was our innovators. They were the risk takers. They were the first ones to join in with him. After the disciples started joining in, then others started to follow once Jesus shared his parables, his teachings. Some more of those people, maybe the early adopters, started to take interest once they saw the disciples following Jesus. This correlates with the innovators and early adopters. And we know that the disciples helped spread the message, much like the early adopters when we're looking at the adoption curve. All of these people played a part. The disciples played a part just like our people who are innovators, early adopters, and the early majority does when we're talking about innovations. Continuing on, the decision to adopt an innovation may be related to three motives: a personal desire, peer pressure, and pressure from an authority figure. This is cited and the authors from 2022. Now, a lot of times we can say that personal desire, peer pressure, or pressure from an authority figure may be a reason why someone gives in to try something. But this is not the case for our late majority and our laggards. Late majority, 34%. In order to have them to try my technology, I would address their concerns, the questions that they may have about the innovation. I would show compassion. I would show patience with them. I would make sure that they are comfortable in the new innovation. And the same thing with the laggards. The laggards, I would offer support. I would offer trainings. I would make them feel comfortable. I would make sure that they know how to use this innovation. I would answer any questions, any concerns, make this look easy, make this look appealing to them so that they would be willing to try the innovation as well. Again, this goes hand in hand with Christ's examples. Christ was patient, he was compassionate, and he showed proof. And that is something else that I would want to make sure that I did with my late majority and laggards as well. They need that proof of the purpose of my technology and what benefits that it would have. And this is what Jesus did by sharing his parables. He gave those simple explanations. For our non-believers, Christ made sure that he gave them signs. He gave them miracles. He demonstrated value in his teachings as well. He made sure that he had reasoning behind anything that he was teaching to the people. All of this correlates hand in hand with trying to be Christ-centered and taking that approach into the innovation adoption. And then lastly, the Christ-led system. I feel that in all that we do, that we should be Christ-like. We should lead that Christ-led system. Servant leadership. We need to prioritize needs and growth of those being led. We need to listen. We need to show them compassion. That way that we can come up with respect and support and create an environment for people to feel valued. And if we do those things, then we're going to gain the trust and credibility. Christ had a positive impact and always gave patience and empathy. Christ performed miracles to get those a little faith proof. And Christ led the perfect system. There's no doubt that he led the perfect system. And if Christ led the perfect system, it worked, then why shouldn't we mimic that? Why should we not parallel that in our everyday lives, in our lives, if it's in education, or if we are trying to lead others to try an innovation? There's nobody else for us to mimic that could be more perfect than Christ, for it to be Christ-led. And then lastly, I have my references, and thank you for listening.